Yeah, I mean, support is great. I love the fact that, when I put in a ticket, you guys are on it. Like, on it, I don't even have to wait. It's the same day. And even if you guys don't know the answer, you're like, hey, give me, a few hours so we can reach out to whoever you guys got to reach out to. And I really like that. I mean, it's a straightforward process. Just going into the portal, logging in, and putting in that ticket. It's awesome. You guys are always there. I feel like that's
Awesome.
like the best support I've ever got with any company. Like honestly.
Welcome to the Service Bureau Accelerator podcast, where we help tax professionals start and scale a successful service bureau.
All right. Welcome to another episode of the SBA interview series. I don't even know if that's what it's called. I just made that up on the fly. How's everyone doing today?
Yeah, I was like, oh, that was a unique intro. I haven't heard that one before. We
Just made it up.
usually just kicked off being like, all right, what's up? So we got Nicole here with us. Yeah, I mean, why don't we kick that off? So Nicole, thanks for jumping in again and hanging out with us, do a little interview. If you want to start, just kind of tell us a little bit about like your experience, your journey in the tax industry, and kind of like, how long ago you got started, when you ended up joining Service Bureau Accelerator, and kind of where you're at today. If you want to give us a little snapshot of everything.
Awesome. Yeah. So I started in the tax industry, I want to say in 2008. I started off working with Liberty Tax, just to get that experience in the tax industry. And then from there, I kind of branched off by myself and did a little bit of taxes just for like family and friends. I wasn't real into like the tax industry, just filing per se. I took a break, transitioned back into IT, and then from IT, I started working for a local software company here in Houston, and from there I transitioned all the way up to sales. So April of 2020, I left the company and synced up with Sean, and he told me good things about your company, so I gave it a shot, and I've been with you guys. I think it's what 2021, I want to say, when I finally was like, okay, let me go ahead and do it because I went with Sigma at first and didn't like, their service bureau packages. I wasn't getting like the full support, coaching, training, or mentorship that you guys provide. So I counseled with Sigma and came over to you guys as a service bureau. Um, Currently, selling software. I have about, 8, 9, 10 years in the industry selling tax software. Um, yeah, just been doing it ever
This
since.
is this is you selling software now for yourself, because before I remember you were a sales rep with another company. Then you said you went off and kind of worked with another service bureau, and then you came
Yeah.
over to us because of Sean, right? Sean's on our support team. You've known you for a while. I think one thing from what I know about you, Nicole, one of the interesting things that I could point out is that you've grown significantly. I think between last year and this year, you've seen a big jump. And one thing I do make a note of for you is that you still have a full-time job.
Yeah.
Like, you're still working full time. So the numbers that you're putting on the board now, compared to what other people who are doing this full time, like you're up there with with hitting numbers while still working full time. So if you could speak to a little bit about how you balance your time, because we see that a lot where people have jobs and they're struggling with that work their work hustle balance, right? The pay the bills and building the business. So how do you manage your day to day?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about time management. When I get off work at 6, I kind of like, work on my business from about 6 to 10. I do a little bit of administration. I got a lot of ads running also. I did hire some Philippines, so while I am working full time, they're here from like 8 to 4 to kind of cover the shift and bring in those sales and do what they need to do, to bring in revenue for the business. I spend most of my day on Saturdays since I'm off on a weekend. That's my day where I'm actually cold calling out in the field, passing out business cards to generate more leads. So it's just really just working around my full-time schedule to do what I have to do. Honestly, getting the Philippines, it's really affordable. $6 an hour. I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
most
go ahead,
definitely.
Rose.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah. So like that's basically your main strategies as well for growing the service bureau and generating sales. You've been running ads, and then you mentioned you're doing like a little extra like prospecting and cold calling on the weekends as well.
Yeah. Cold
Okay,
calling,
cool.
passing out business cards here locally to tax offices, just going in and giving like a 30 second elevator's pitch about what I do and how I can help them. I get their business card, put it in the CRM, and then I'm reaching out to them like on Monday. Like, hey, I met with you, Saturday, and here I am, let's schedule a
Awesome.
demo.
And then on the ad side of things, are you running ads like with like the Tax Nitro like ad system, or are you kind of creating all your own ads, your own ad copy and content and marketing and stuff?
Actually have a marketing company that I'm working with. It's Suka. It's Woodland Bass. He's doing all of my marketing for Integrity Tax Offer right now.
Got it. Nice. How's that working out? Like good lead generation, pretty steady.
Yeah. I'm getting roughly around about 150 plus leads a month.
Nice. Awesome. Good stuff. So I want to ask you a little bit about, because you're in the unique scenario where there's like, I mean, there's actually quite a few that are in elite that have been with us like from the very beginning. There's quite a few actually, because everyone's just been like steadily growing over the last few years. But do you want to talk a little bit about? I know you mentioned earlier like one of the reasons you joined SBA was because of like the additional training, the mentorship, like all the extra components that we have in addition to obviously being a service bureau. Um, what's been your experience going through that training, especially through like the evolution from like year one where it was kind of like, hey, modules are coming like 2 weeks from now, to now where we have like the foundations, we got the new like 7-day launch program and everything. Do you want to share a little bit like what has that been like, seeing the progression of the program changing over time?
I mean, honestly, I love it. When I first joined, some of the modules and courses, like I knew some of it, so I couldn't skip through it. And now, I can skip through it and be able to complete a course. So, um, but yeah, at first I was like, man, I got to sit here and watch this and just to get to the next chapter. Yeah. But now, just you guys laid it out and it's really straightforward. I mean, I love it. Love the material. Um, I mean, only tip, I wish that, you guys could provide it to our sales teams, You know?
Tra- train the team as well. Yeah.
Right?
There is something
The challenge with
on that.
that is that when you want to train your sales team, you want to train them specifically on what your offer is and what you're selling. For them to take a concept and turn it into what you want it to be, that's not their skill set.
Mhm,
Their skill set is to do what you tell them to do and to, hey, follow these steps. This is my
mhm.
system. This is my process. This is what I'm selling. This is what I'm selling it for. Here's all how I handle all the rebuttals. Here are common questions. There's things that in our training, like you have to develop for your business because
Yeah,
your package is unique, what you're offering is unique. Those things we can't train somebody for you on that without knowing what it is.
gotcha.
So that's why it sounds like we do have
Yeah.
things that are in some of our packages, like stuff we can simply train is like, well, how do you have a VA in the Philippines run appointments and get them on the
Mhm,
next step calendar? Like that's simple
Yeah.
stuff because that's generic enough.
okay,
But when it comes to actual sales team training, like, I think you're coming to the convention this year, so like we're gonna show some of the stuff that we have for our team behind the scenes on the Elite Day,
okay.
and you'll see how we structure our sales team training for our sales staff here at SBA
Yeah.
as well.
And the biggest thing too, if I can give a little insight as well, is that like the sales team training is probably one of the more challenging things to train. Not that it's like it's impossible. It's very doable, but kind of to what Baldeep said, it's like it's not just like, hey, here's a bunch of videos, then they can go out and do it. I have weekly calls with the sales team, right? I literally do a weekly meeting on Mondays where we kind of set up the week, and then Tuesdays I do an hour of like call review. So we'll pull calls and we'll review it, because it's something that you always need to stay on top of, right? You always
Mhm,
kind of need to have your pulse, because and it's the most important, one of the most important things. If your marketing is bringing in the leads, now the sales team needs to convert into revenue, right? So it's like it's good to always really keep your thumb on the pulse there, even while you're maybe not the one doing the calls anymore, but you know how to sell, you know what they should be saying. So that's something where it's like, again, the videos can only go so much, but with the sales team, like you constantly have to be working with them. And so do you do any kind of like weekly meetings right now with your sales team, or like do any like ongoing training with them?
yeah, we're doing, something. So I purchased a, Jeremy Miner, sales course,
Oh
so
yeah,
we do that every Friday for about an
perfect.
Oh, nice,
hour or so.
perfect. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome, and so yeah. So you understand
Those,
it's
yeah, those
you
things are
you gotta train you gotta train the people
yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
yeah. Those things are a lot more important than just like a couple of video modules for a sales rep. Like the video modules for a sales rep, like we have quite a few. Um, that's just to get them acclimated to the industry terminology, to certain things that they would need to know
Hmm.
because of the business model. It's really the ongoing reviews and the ongoing training that turns them into effective salespeople.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Product knowledge too is another pretty important one too. I'm not sure how much you go into that, but product knowledge is always good to work with the sales team where like you can kind of ask them like, hey, what's our offer? And like see what like off the top of their head, how do they explain what the offer is, right? Are they like stumbling and fumbling? Or do they have like bang, 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 they've got that thing like just
Hmm.
memorized? Because it's all about like I don't were you on our call like the first series of coaching calls that we did last month? We did like I think it like 2 weeks ago we had a
She
sales call.
works during that time,
Oh yeah,
man.
Wasn't it?
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Well, the on the sales one, it was like I was talking a lot about like the at the end of the day, like the fundamental of sales is, it's like this is the person's current scenario. Here's where they want to go. How do we connect the dots and show them that
Mhm.
what we have to sell them is going to get them there, right? And so product knowledge is really important because it's like those are points where your sales team can leverage like, oh, they told me they're struggling with this, well I know that there's this part of the program that is going to provide them value for that, and then being able to find those little areas that they can connect those dots for the prospect on the phone to show them, hey, you told me you have this problem, this is how our product is going to solve that problem, whatever it may be, right? And so like working on drilling like little things like that and just checking how their product knowledge is, I've found that's to been like a really good one where you just hear their conversation be so much clearer and simpler when they're kind of explaining to the prospect, where the prospect then their light bulb goes on, they're like, oh, I get it, like that's exactly what I need. Ultimately what we want the prospect to tell us without them actually saying it, and we do that but just doing all that. So that would be another really really great one, just like make sure your team's dialed in on the product knowledge. It's good good sales training one.
Awesome.
um but let's dive into a little bit on the support side of things as well. I don't know, Baldeep, if you want to dive into this just yet, but um, on tell us a little bit, because like I know a big thing that comes up with a lot of EROs that we're talking to or looking at becoming a service bureau is is a big challenge they have is the support, or a pain point that they've had in the past with their software providers is support. And so our goal with the Service Bureau Accelerator was to give you guys like the best support possible for you with your service bureau, whether it's any technical things that come up, bank enrollment stuff, or even like business training. I know you've had tickets with me back and forth on your
Hmm.
offer and everything like that. Do you want to just share a little bit about like how has that been using our support, like the support ticketing portal that we've got set up? How has your experience been with that? The timeliness on the responses. Share a little bit about that and like working with our team as well.
Yeah, I mean, support is great. I love the fact that, when I put in a ticket, you guys are on it. Like on it, I don't even have to wait. It's same day. And even if you guys don't know the answer, you're like, hey, give me, a few hours so we can reach out to whoever you guys got to reach out to. And I really like that. I mean, it's a straightforward process. Just going into the portal, logging in, and putting in that ticket. It's awesome. You guys are always there. I feel like that's
Awesome.
like the best support I've ever got with any company. Like honestly,
I remember even like on the marketing support side, I remember it was it last season, Ross was auditing your presentations and doing
yeah.
all this stuff, giving you like what was it, 2-3 page notes and videos and shit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it seems like it worked out.
You don't get that with any other service bureaus. Hard.
Yeah, what's that been like as well on like on the business side of things, right? Like learning from, like you mentioned, you said, before going through there's a lot of training there that, some of the stuff you're familiar with, some you weren't, but maybe can you share a little bit on that, like your experience with the mentorship, the coaching calls, or like, some of that stuff, the extra stuff that we kind of try to provide for our members to help you guys scale, like Baldy was saying, the presentation review there.
Yeah, I mean, I was not good with doing presentations at all, like, honestly, at all, and so I really love the fact that you guys, like, really take your time out of your day to kinda help us, put it together, package it, and get it to where, it's like a sales copy in a sense, so when we're doing webinars, it it really just drops the sales easily, and it's really organized also. I like the tips in there and then like put in the notes that you guys explain, when we're doing the presentations, like making sure that we got that in the notes to read off the slide. Also like the fast action prospecting strategy, like that was real dope. I tried it and I was able to get some good results. So there's some good tips in the courses that I've did so far that I didn't know.
Right on.
Awesome. Yeah, that fast action strategy, like you could probably like you may have done it maybe like 2 years ago or something, whenever it was a while ago that you did it. But since then, your list has grown, your reach has grown. So you could actually redo it,
Hmm.
reword it, redo it, and you still would get results with it, right? So one thing you could do, for example, is take a concept of that fast action strategy. And now that you have all these leads, send out a blast with the quick fast action strategy response email or text, right?
Hmm.
And then obviously since then you've been more, I've seen you more engaged in socials. You got more friends, more followers. Doing a fast action strategy now versus 2 years ago, you'll probably see a big difference as well.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Cool. So Nicole, like last question here for you. I think unless anything else comes to mind, but one of the last questions for you is, what would you say, like what would you say to someone if they're kind of in the industry right now and they're looking to become a service bureau, and there's kind of like self-inflicted wound. There's a lot of options out there, right? For joining service bureaus. What would you say to someone who's looking at joining our program? What kind of feedback or comments would you share with them to help them kind of make a decision?
Honestly, do it. You guys, the coaching, the mentorship that you guys have in your program, I know for me, it holds me accountable. So I would tell them to do it. I mean, they'll really scale their business versus going to any other software companies and getting a service bureau package. I think just in the industry, since I've been in the industry, you guys are the only software company that offers the things that you guys offer, the coaching, the trainings, the hand holding, to make sure that we're growing, our service bureau and we're being successful. There's a lot that I've seen, they'll just sell you a software service bureau package and you're on your own. You're having to figure it out on YouTube, doing research, trying to, okay, how I grow this crap.
Right.
You guys make it like really, really easy.
Appreciate that. They
Awesome.
could go watch
Yeah.
our YouTube videos and
Yeah.
learn more.
Yeah, I was gonna say YouTube. Like we gotta get more training videos on YouTube.
We'll get more
Right.
Get
we'll
some
get
free
more
content on there.
free content for those people, and then
Yeah,
they'll end up come
yeah.
over to the dark side here.
So
Awesome.
what's your what are some of your, I remember a couple other things I wanted to ask you as well. So like ultimately, like what's your goal in next like 3 to 5 years? Like where do you see your service bureau business in those next, like maybe like next year or 3 years from now, 5 years from now even? Like what are you really looking to do at least like this upcoming season with your service bureau?
For one, retiring from, my 9 to 5, that's one, so, I wanna be able to generate more revenue. My goal is to get at least, like, 375,000, just so that way it makes sense to where I could pay myself a decent salary to be able to retire from corporate America. Once I do that, I wanna create more, opportunities, and quit hiring in the Philippines. I wanna start hiring, like, in the US and getting reps all over and have their little territories. I'm looking and, get my own office spot and really, really just scale it to at least like a half a
Awesome.
mil, even a billion, maybe
Yeah.
a billion. Sell it to another company, and start over. You know.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I'm really excited for you to hit that too, because I feel like, with you working like an existing like a full-time job and doing this with the numbers that you've been able, like Baldeep said, right? Like the numbers that you've been able to put up this year, it's like, oh, there's some solid growth. Now it's just like, if you can get full-time on the service bureau, like shit,
Yeah.
that's game
I don't
over.
I don't think the number you mentioned on like what you I mean, I haven't run the crosslink numbers yet, but I don't think you're too far off from making what you want to make to leave the job. I don't think so. I don't know what I know on volume incentives you'll make a decent chunk of change, so um but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think you're too far off.
Yeah, I wasn't last year. I was just like, I just need the extra 100K.
You just want the cushion.
But
They just want the cushion, yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, we're going into sales season. Yeah, if you look at your funds this year, payouts come in soon, right? If you look at it and you're like, it's almost there, one more season, don't spend it all, bank it. That's your cushion. And then one more season, then you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you could literally dip, especially with your sales mentality. Like, just like I've known you for obviously a few years now, and just kind of seeing how you move and what you do. Just with your sales mentality, you already got a leg up. So it's really just tripling down on that. And you have the skill set to develop the infrastructure for support and hiring and training and building a team. So really the only thing that's stopping you is time.
Yeah.
Is your time in a day.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to see where you go after this season and into next season. And yeah, that's all I got for you. We look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks here at the convention.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. Awesome. Cool. Well, yeah, thanks again, Nicole, for jumping in. Appreciate it. We'll go ahead and wrap up the recording here. And yeah, that's it.